Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage the president of Microsoft Collaborative Arts and Platforms, Jeff Teper.
Good morning. Good morning. It is incredible to be at this event together. I thought I'd start where Charles ended, which is people underestimating what you can do in 10 years. As he said that, I was thinking about 10 years. What was I doing 10 years ago? Well, I was sitting in a conference room in Building 34 with some folks from our team in the Microsoft 365 side, some of the teams that were working on precursors to the Power Platform flow, and we were mapping out on a whiteboard, what if SharePoint connected to this new under development evolution of flow and a form design tool that became Power Apps? It'd be pretty amazing, right? And a lot of hard work went into it, and it's just so amazing, all of you that embraced it. And to sit here this morning and see these hardcore enterprise customers, HBSC, McKinsey, using it for mission-critical processes, to see 6,000 people at this event embracing it, betting your career on it, which we don't take for granted, and to hear that 48 million people are now using the Power Platform is just amazing. But as Charles said, we're just getting started. I'm so excited about what we can do to build together in this next wave, in this age of Copilots. So thank you to everybody who's been part of the best community in tech. Charles said it so well. This is a place to have fun. It's a place to learn. It's a place to have build a career. And it's a place to give us feedback. I know if I think about where our products were 3 years ago, 5 years ago, in both the Microsoft 365 side and the Power Platform, it's because of your passion to tell us your use cases, your scenarios, your product feedback. And so please keep it coming. And there has never been a more important time to be part of this community together. We want to make sure as AI moves quickly, we're adapting it for your feedback, the business needs for you and your end customers. So I always like to start with our mission to ground us. Microsoft's mission that Satya set out over a decade ago is to empower both every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And a lot of our focus in business processes and collaboration that we work on together is around organizational metrics and outcomes, driving revenue growth, reducing costs, et cetera. But for me, the soul of Microsoft, and I thought Charles and team did such a great job, is this personal empowerment. We're here to build tools for you in Microsoft 365 and the Power Platform so you can be more productive and creative, and you can help other people be more productive and creative. And that's what this AI era is about for us, is not displacing roles, but making sure that everybody has the opportunity to do meaningful, fulfilling work and grow their skills and career. And so I'm very, very excited about the opportunities for us to do that together in this age of Copilot. Charles talked about how a couple years ago we took really the first generation large language model and integrated with our development tools. And I code still for fun. I cannot imagine a world without this. And we were inspired by this about a year and a half ago to bring this, the GPT-4 model, into Microsoft 365 to introduce Microsoft 365 Copilot. And the feedback's been great. Some things are awesome, some things need a little bit better work. And so we've iterated based on your feedback and done over 700 updates to the Microsoft 365 Copilot. And the biggest step we announced on Monday, and I'll highlight, is Copilot Wave 2. But even with what we've already shipped, that mission that we have about helping both organizational productivity and individual productivity has very, very clear outcomes. Customer after customer is able to measure their impact and increase sales, increase product development, time to market, lower cost, better customer service, and people are telling us that their day is more fulfilling. They're more creative, they're more productive, they can catch up on meetings and documents and faster than ever before. And again, we are just getting started. So I'm going to jump in and talk about 3 areas of product investment for us in the collaborative space in Microsoft 365, and I'll highlight how these integrate with the Power Platform to help us all build the next generation of collaborative, intelligent solutions together. So I'll talk about Copilot, of course. Then we're going to talk about Teams, which is the flexible hub for teamwork where people and AI will come together for this next generation of work. And of course, the Power Platform's best friend, SharePoint, that flexible hub for content management that is there to help you manage your content for AI and use content to enrich content-centric processes. So we'll go through them one by one, and let's get started with Microsoft 365 Copilot. All right, Monday, Satya, in case you missed it, there goes our wristbands. I feel like Taylor Swift up here. On Monday, Satya kicked off the release of Microsoft 365 Copilot Wave 2. And at the foundation, a lot of work on the core model, user experience, and RAG approach. We're using the latest model in GPT-4o. That's twice as fast. We've done a lot of tuning to make sure the relevance of the results are a big leap forward. But on top of that new foundation, we're introducing 3 things: pages, app integrations, and agents. And so I'm going to talk about each of those. Copilot Pages, probably the biggest thing we announced Monday, which is the ability not just to have a chat-centric conversation back and forth. That's helpful, but a lot of work has more structured and long-term and is multiplayer. So side by side with that chat interface in Microsoft 365 Copilot is a collaborative multiplayer canvas called Copilot Pages. Some of you will know this technology. It is the exact same technology we've used in Loop, which is powered by SharePoint, integrated with Teams and Outlook for collaborative component authoring. It's now in Copilot as Copilot Pages, so users can go back and forth, researching things on the web, adding information on work, and working with both AI and people. And the key exciting thing for us about this is we're making the base capability. So if you take Pages plus the web-centric, secure Copilot experience, we're making that available at no additional cost to all 400 million Entra ID users. So a big democratization of collaborative AI, but of course, on the Copilot SKU, you'll get more, including work scope grounding of your data and integration with the apps. So let me give you a quick glimpse of what's going on with Copilot Pages. So I'm working on a proposal for electric vehicles charging stations at the Los Angeles airport. And I go into the web scope of the Copilot app, and I'm going to do some research there on the market opportunity. And I bring up the dialog box to start typing that in and ask it about traffic and parking spaces and electric vehicles. And sure enough, it comes back with an answer pretty quickly. And we'll see that here in a second. But the exciting new thing is I don't want this long stream of chats just with the AI. I want to work with this as an artifact with other people. So let me hit Edit in Pages, and up comes this new canvas inside the core chat experience. And information from the Copilot is pasted there. I'm going to now share that like I would with any other artifact in Microsoft 365. You can see the people jumping in. And they're now going to start collaborating with me on this document that I've created with AI. While I go do some additional research, again, using the web grounding, I'm going to look at the number of electric vehicles in the LA area and call that up. And as a reminder, we have citations for all this, so you can check the results. It looks good. I'm going to go ahead and add this information into this page as people are starting to author it. Now let's switch to the work scope to get secure access to the content in our organization. I want to ask for a project plan based on a Word document Copilot will summarize the milestones for that here in a second. It's going to turn it into a table. Let's add that to the page as well. You can see that is going to go right in line. And this is multiplayer collaborative with the underlying loop technology. And you can see people immediately going into the grid, editing and assigning tasks and adding milestones to that. While that's going on, I'm going to make sure that this is a proposal that's grounded in the feedback from a particular customer. And so I'm going to go into Copilot and say, gosh, we had a meeting with this customer. Can you add to the content the requirements they gave us in the meeting? It knows the meeting recap from Copilot and Microsoft 365, and sure enough, it adds it to this interactive canvas. Last thing we're going to do is we want to generate a proposal, and we want to use one that was successful. So again, going to the graph, getting a grounded document for the last successful proposal. We'll pick it here, and we'll say, hey, add to this document the elements of a successful plan so we know that we can try to win the business for this next opportunity. And so there you've had it. I've gone back and forth with Copilot, accessing web information, work information. It's not in this long, endless chat stream. It's in a structured document that I can change and edit, and users can edit as well. And it's going to transform the way a lot of work is done, saving time, and again, bringing in a real-time experience. So super, super excited about the new Copilot Pages. We also added a whole bunch of integrations with, and again, all 400 million Entra ID users get the base Pages capability with the web scope, and Copilot SKU gets you access to the work data and the app integration. We also did a lot of new app integration, a bunch of feedback in the last year, and I'm very, very excited in each area. We'll be able to generate scripts in Python, working with your data in Excel. There's a new interactive experience in PowerPoint for designing slides. Word documents can be derived from a set of other Word documents, which is a new capability. Your inbox can be summarized. OneDrive can analyze and answer questions on multiple documents and even compare the difference between them. SharePoint, you're going to be able to build sites with AI and agents with AI and a lot more. So please do take a look at the videos we released for all this week. I don't have time to go through it all, but we're very, very excited about taking Copilot in the M365 apps to the next level. The last, and definitely not least for this audience, as Charles outlined, is agents. There is a spectrum of agents, as Charles talked about, from fairly straightforward things that are an expert, that are doing retrieval of information, answering questions, grounded on content and meetings and so forth, to things that are doing a particular task that may be something we've built in Power Automate, and we want to put a natural language interface on top of that so people can activate it in different contexts, to much more free-form experiences. And wow, I had seen some of that stuff over the last few months. It was so great to see it live in front of all you. The ability to have these agents help you with planning and reasoning and execution of different tasks and learn from feedback. So we're very excited at this whole spectrum of agentic capabilities. And as Charles talked about, Copilot Studio, very, very much at the center of this. But we want to make this available to everyone. So we're taking some of that base building capability and making sure you can start safely and simply with an agent builder in both the business chat experience and right next to your content in SharePoint. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So SharePoint, hopefully everybody knows. We saw a bunch of screenshots this morning. Thank you. I think I owe Charles a quarter for every time the SharePoint icon showed up. Grounded on business process and knowledge content. Here we've got a document library about product maintenance information. It's got information about the products, about customers, about support information. And I can go select a subset of this content. In this case, I'm going to pretty much take the whole document library, select it all. It's very, very complicated. Hit Create Copilot Agent, and there I'm done. That's it. It's an agent. It fully respects all the security and processes behind that content. So if I'm going to share it now with our team in Teams. You'll go ahead and see me add that agent to the conversation. And then I can start asking it questions. And again, it processes that questions in the context of the requesting users. So there's zero unintended information disclosure behind that. So super excited. The easiest way to build an agent in tech on your documents will be this agent builder capability in SharePoint. But of course, we want to grow up to things that automate processes. And this is where Copilot Studio comes in. And I love the integration between Copilot Studio and Microsoft 365. In this case, you can specify additional sources of knowledge, additional business applications where you can take actions. I want to make sure I don't just answer product maintenance questions. I can order replacement parts. So here, I'm going to go into dynamic supply chain management and add an action to order replacement parts for this particular customer. Go ahead and publish that through Copilot Studio. And of course, that is something the Microsoft 365 applications all know about. This enhanced agent with these extra capabilities is right there in the line. I can ask it to go order information or order the new part for the customer. It understands my natural language and says, sure, I will go ahead and do that with the human in the loop. So super excited. This is just a taste of the capability we're adding, bridging the collaborative content and communications in Microsoft 365 and the agent building and execution tracking capabilities in Copilot Studio. Next up, Teams, the flexible hub for teamwork that brings together applications from Microsoft, all sorts of third parties, business apps built, of course, often with Power Automate, Power Apps, all inside Teams, people and AI working together. But I learned a new metric to evaluate our success for Teams. I'll call it the Lamana metric, which is how many Eras tours do we have in our user base? And so, Charles, good job on 48 million. I'm here to help. We're all here to help. 48 million users, which was what, 8 Eras tours? Teams, 53 million Eras tour, not 53 million, 53 Eras tours. So we're a little bit ahead, but we want to make sure every Teams user is a Power Platform in Copilot Studio. It would be crazy to imagine a world otherwise. And so we're very excited to make sure this collaborative socket for your business solutions where users are working all day long is going to have great integration with the Power Platform in Copilot Studio. I do want to make sure that we are reinforce the laser focus we have in making Teams the most delightful collaborative tool in the industry. Last year, we released the new Teams desktop in 2013. It's deployed across all the users, twice as fast, half the size, simpler, faster, and smarter. And so, as I said, the performance were a key focus for us. More is coming on every platform to make Teams faster for all sorts of activities, including launching applications from the Power Platform. Huge focus for us. Second, simpler. We overhauled the Teams UI. We improved the multi-account support, notifications, search, chat got simpler, as well as adding capabilities like source code formatting and custom emojis and lots of other things. And you'll see in the next couple months even more for Teams to make it simpler and more delightful for a diverse set of users. Whether you've been a long-time Teams user or you're converting from Slack to using Teams, we're going to make sure that everybody loves Teams as their collaborative shell. And then last, Teams is smarter. We released Copilot in Teams, in meetings, and chats, and channels, custom Copilots and Teams, and much more. And all this runs on all platforms. Last week, I had a monthly deep dive with what we're doing in Teams and got to see what's released and coming on Windows, on Mac, on iPad, on web, on VDI environments like Windows 365 and Citrix. Wherever you are, phone, room, whatever device it is, Teams is going to be a great collaborative experience and the best place for teams of people to interact with business apps and agents. And let's switch to that. I'm very excited from the beginning. When we released Teams in 2017, it had Power Platform integration, and we're just building on that. integrating with Power BI for business data, integrating with Power Apps for building custom solutions that integrate inside Teams and can send chat messages and so forth. Power Automate. I just love this workflow module we built inside Teams that integrates all the capabilities of Power Automate and soon Copilot Studio right natively for Teams users, right inside the Teams user experience. And of course, now, Charles has said 50,000 customers for Copilot Studio. Many of them are building integrations between Copilot Studio and Teams so these agents can help individuals and teams right where they work every day. So we just love the opportunity to bring business process and AI and collaboration together with Teams. I'm excited for us to show you a couple elements of that, both Copilot Studio integration, Power Automate integration. So let me bring up to the stage Trent to show what that looks like. Trent?
Thanks, Jeff. Hi, everyone. It's awesome to be with you. I have the privilege of showing you two experiences that bring together AI and Power Platform into Teams. For both of these experiences, we're going to be following a mobile engineering team. They're building features for mobile apps. The first experience I'm going to show you is a very simple Copilot agent. Here, I'm going to start in Copilot Studio on the Create tab, and I'm just going to click New Copilot. From here, it asks me, how am I going to help my users? And I'm going to help them deliver these mobile app features according to our company's design and accessibility standards. With those as directions, you can see very unique to my team and organization, it's going to ask me about a specific tone. And I'm going to say, be friendly and non-judgmental. Not everyone has memorized the company standards yet. With that as a backdrop, I'm ready to add knowledge. Watch this. Down here, I'm going to click Add Knowledge, and this mobile engineering team has a very robust SharePoint site, so I'm going to add that. It's got all the information and documentation that they need. And just that quickly, it's been about 1 minute, I'm ready to deploy this Copilot agent. I've saved us some time and already put it in Teams, and I've called it Dev Helper. Here in the one-on-one chat, I can ask it things right away, like, how do I keep GitHub forks in sync? And this, you can already tell, is going to save me a ton of time rat-holing in my own search or bugging my teammates to get the information that I need. As soon as it comes back, I can even go into citations in case I want to go deeper into that topic. But the thing I really wanted to show you all today is using this simple Copilot agent in a group chat. Watch this. Here I am in the mobile engineering team, and we learned that Sarah is going to be out this week on vacation. So what I can do is ask it, Dev Helper, what tasks are assigned to Sarah and due this week? You can probably tell this prompt is going to really help us. As soon as it comes back with information, we can all pile on and figure out who's going to tackle dark mode while she's out. So, I wanted to pause here. That was the first experience. The second experience I want to show you highlights what Jeff was just talking about, bringing business process automation into Teams. There are millions of Power Automate flows running in M365 every week. And in Teams, when this mobile engineering team finds themselves doing something repetitively, they can turn to the significantly upgraded Workflows app in Teams. We just released the ability for you to create a Power Automate flow in natural language in the context of your work. Watch this. I'll click Workflow Builder and just describe what I want. In this case, I'll say, notify this group when a new GitHub pull request is created. And it reasons over Power Automate's triggers and actions to suggest a flow. This is exactly what I wanted. By setting this up in my development channel, my team has exactly the information that they need to keep momentum going on their project using these rich cards. So there you have it. Between a simple Copilot agent and creating workflows via natural language in the context of my work, my team is feeling so much more productive and empowered. Thanks. Back to you, Jeff.
And that really was just a quick taste of the integration we have today and what's to come between Teams and the Power Platform. Next, let's switch gears to SharePoint. Again, SharePoint, just like Teams is a flexible hub, SharePoint's a flexible content platform that supports all sorts of data types and workflows. And in the AI era, content management's more important than ever to make sure that you both ground and secure your content for AI, but you're also fully utilizing AI to process that content for collaboration, for workflow, for knowledge management, and more. And so SharePoint brings together all these data types, files, lists, sites, videos, and in particular, these new loop-powered collaborative pages and components that we're integrating in Copilot as Copilot Pages. Same security model, same compliance, same governance, and of course, same deep integration with the Power Platform. But SharePoint's not just a platform, it's an app, and this year we introduced a brand new experience that includes some AI light-ups that we'll show you in a second. And that has continued the momentum that we have in SharePoint and accelerated it, and that there's now over 2 billion new files added every day to SharePoint. But particularly relevant for this audience, over 2 billion workflow instances through the Power Platform are running through SharePoint every week, and this number is growing incredibly rapidly thanks to the great work for all of you. Yes, thank you. I'm super excited about this next wave of UX, but more importantly, the integration with business processes with the Power Platform and Copilot Studio. And to show you that, let me bring up Melissa Torres. Melissa? What?
I'm coming this way.
We switched since last night. Sometimes that happens.
Hi, everyone. So this has been a big year of infusing AI into SharePoint. Not only did we update SharePoint with the best looks on the web, but with Copilot, we're unlocking the knowledge of the service. Today, I'm excited to introduce the authoring Copilot in SharePoint, which is set to transform the way that pages and sites get created. Our journey begins in the new SharePoint Start experience. You see a seat of templates, and when you hover over them, you start to see a prompt show up. Let's go ahead and modify it. Now, I'm going to build a new campus update status. So I'm going to give it some information. I wanted sections for key progress, timeline, and in many cases, when you're building something like this, you have a document you want to source it from. So I'll pick that too. Next, I am a native Spanish speaker, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Spanish as a language, and wait for it. Fantastico! You get an amazing, visually stunning looking page. Come on, it looks pretty good. Professional and comprehensive. That gets me started. From here, I can go ahead and start fine-tuning it. I can use the editor Copilot to rewrite the text to make me sound from casual to professional. And I know this is Spanish, and you probably can understand it, but trust me, it's pretty good. Switching over. Now, I can also fine-tune by not only the words, but also I have this section here, and it has these images and text. Looks pretty good, but with design ideas, we take your very own content and generate different ideas for how your content could look better. Making you a designer, giving you some visually compelling, saving you time, and also giving you inspiration. And if you're using organizational fonts, custom fonts for your organization or on your site, we also use those to generate these ideas. With these new capabilities, what used to take hours or days can now be done in minutes. With the authoring Copilot making easier than ever to create content and the ability to create your own Copilot agent that's grounded on your data, we expect to see an explosion of content in SharePoint. This is where bringing SharePoint and Power Platform together to build business process and make it reusable will be key. Let me show you how simple it is. So here I am in Project Sphere, and I'm going to be hiring for this new team that's going to be working on this project, and I need a way to manage the candidates and the resumes. So I'm going to go click Create Document Library, and I could start from Microsoft templates, but luckily and thankfully, my organization has set up a hiring document library template that I can use. Fast forward, and this is what it looks like. Now I have a candidates list with resumes that I can use and track. Now I have this recruiting stage column right here. And whenever I set a candidate over to pre-screen, behind the scenes, a flow triggers to send a notification in Teams to the rest of my interview team. That way, they can review the resume and schedule the interview. Next, back to SharePoint. I can go, and we like some of the candidates. That's good. So I can go ahead and submit for their approval directly from the approval status column. Or I can click Requested and see here that I can request directly as well. And if I'm used to using Teams instead, I can do it all from the Approvals app in Teams, kind of showcasing how all of this is together, built on top of the Power Platform. Pretty nice, right? I have one more thing to show you. Now, let's bring it all together with showcasing the power of using AI document processing and business process together to build what we're calling content-driven solutions. Now, if any of you out there have worked with contracts, invoices, statements of work, then we have a solution for you to help you manage your agreements. In the Agreements app, you get a view of what your agreements you're working on are. From here, you can go ahead and click Create to start your own agreement. In this case, let's go build one for statement of work. Next, I'll pick up the supplier that's going to be using this. So in this case, I'll pick Fabricam. And after that, it opens in native Word, where the AI document processing pre-fills for me metadata, saving me time. Now, this is ready for e-signature. I set e-signature and Carlos as the signer. This is using SharePoint's native capability, e-signature capability. Next, Carlos now gets the agreement, he gets to review it, and signs it. There you can see. Now over back to me, where I receive and say, I see that he signed it, and now the agreement is executed. And just like that, all this showing that Power Platform and SharePoint together can do great things. Over to you, Jeff.
Thank you. Fantastico. So that was just a quick tour of just some of the integration we're doing in Microsoft 365 and Power Platform and Copilot Studio. And again, we're just getting started on this journey that's fueled by AI. As Charles said, the ability of agents at runtime or asynchronously to transform designing these solutions, using these solutions, adapting to ambiguity in the environment is going to be completely transformative. And so we're incredibly excited to partner closely with you to build these next generation solutions. So thank you very much for being with us this session. We're very excited for your feedback this week, and we very much look forward to seeing what you build. So let me wrap with a little bit of a teaser video of some of the stuff we're doing around this. Thank you so much.